What's up, YouTube? It's your boy Young Phillip, and I'm back with another video for y'all today. And before we get started with today's video, I would like for y'all to click the like button down below, giving it a thumbs up, and make sure y'all click that subscribe button, but make sure y'all click that bell so y'all can be notified and don't miss any of my videos. Today's video will be a movie review of one of my favorite iconic movies, The Players Club. So without further ado, let's begin. The movie opens up about a girl named Diana Armstrong, but she goes by a stripper named Diamond. She worked at the Players Club for 4 years, just like she was in college for 4 years. Before we get to how we are at now, let's run it back to when she was in high school. In high school, she was pregnant. It was her senior year. She wanted to go to a historical black college, but her father had different plans. So after an argument with her father, she ends up leaving home and she moved in with her baby's father. And he was like, he needed some space, whatever the fuck that meant. And then she had to get a job at a shoe store. And that's when she ran into these two girls named Ronnie and Trix. And it was like, you could do a whole life, you get a different job. Ronnie was like, she coined the phrase, use what you got to get what you want and stop messing with this chump change. And they both informed Diamond that they work at the Players Club. And how Diamond explains it, the Players Club was run down by this low-life nigga named Dollar Bill, who was always in debt. And also, he was just that one dude that just stayed in trouble. But anyway, he was the reason why she got the name Diamond. He said her face was pretty, but to be actually honest, he never saw her face, ever. And then she ended up getting a job immediately. But then, here we go. After putting in work, even on her first night, she was like a little nervous and whatnot. She ended up getting the hang of it. She would go to school in the daytime and go strip at night. But she did get into the college that she wanted to go to, which was Southern Tech. And then 4 years went by. She ended up being back on good terms with her father, and she had a new boyfriend, and his name was Lance. And then her cousin Ebony came from Tallahassee, Florida. After seeing Diamond's crib, she decided she wanted to work at the Players Club too. And after rendition of the stripping game by Dollar Bill, Ebony wants to work there. She's like, when do I start? And he looked at her and said, immediately. And then Ebony would stay out all night hanging with Ronnie and Trix. And Diamond would have to be the one to be looking for her. And then that one night when she drops off Anthony, after dropping off Anthony, we go to a different scene where Dollar Bill is confronted by a guy who works for a dude named St. Louis, who happens to be a loan shark who Dollar Bill owed money to. He wakes him up. Tells him, wake up, Dollar Bill. He hit him with the shotgun and point the gun at him and informs him that, Dollar Bill owed $60,000 and Dollar Bill haven't made not one payment yet. He's like, Mr. St. Louis is coming to your club and he wants a payment of $10,000. If you don't pay him, he don't pay me, and I'm going to take that real personal. I'm going to come and get you. He said, you better make that payment or I listen for the pop. And then just boom, bam. And then that night, St. Louis and his henchmen came to the club looking for Dollar Bill. But he ends up seeing his doorman, Lil Man. Not St. Louis's, but Dollar Bill's doorman, Lil Man. And they actually, it was the two people in the front seat, Brooklyn and Casey. They told him to put his head in the window. Brooklyn specifically. He's like, nigga, you know the routine. Stick your head in the window. And then a thing about Lil Man, he will always have to cover for Dollar Bill to make it seem like he's not there, so he don't have to pay up his little money problem, his gambling debt. And then here we go. After this little counter, Brooklyn states that they will be back. And he was like, better have my 60 G's. And then he also have two watchmen that works for him, Reggie and Clyde. By the way, Reggie is played by Ice Cube, who wrote and produced and directed the movie. But anyway, Blue was in the office talking to Dollar Bill about he should be getting paid a whole lot more than the amount that he's being paid. And Dollar Bill look at him and he's like, welcome to the strip game, partner. You must be thinking you DJ Quick. You must think you Jimmy Walker or something. You ain't nothing. All you do is spin records. Like, shut up, don't you say another motherfucking word. That's how it was. He said, Hayes for horses. Raise up, raise up. If I raise up, it's gonna be trouble, trouble. And then Lil Man informs him that St. Louis is pulled up, and he told him that he was like, what was it again? Okay, now I got it. I told him you went to the airport. And then here we go. On the scene, then we go to Diamond having a little talk to Ebony about hanging around with Ronnie and Trix. And then Diamond goes on stage, she dances first and whatnot. And her boyfriend Lance is sick and tired of her working at the Players Club. And then the next day, Dollar Bill tried to sneak out of the Players Club, but he ends up getting caught lacking by St. Louis's henchmen, Brooklyn and KC. Brooklyn punches him 3 times in the stomach and then punched him one good time in the face, knocking him out, and they put him inside the trunk of his own car. As soon as you knew it, a tire caught him flat. Before they can even try to find a spare one, they end up getting caught by these crooked ass cops named Officer Freeman and Peters. But luckily, they don't have no warrants on them. I'll never forget what Officer Freeman said before they left. He said, take some of that bass out your voice, bitch. You just forgot your keys, you dumbass. That was the funniest shit I ever heard in the motherfucking movie. And then they pull up to the Players Club looking for Dollar Bill. And they look at Lil Man. They're like, come here, nigga. This ain't no new. Come on. He said, where your boss at? He said, man, he ain't in there. He said, come on, man. I'm going to have to search this place. He said, y'all already search it 3 or 4 times a week anyway. If y'all want to see some ass, I think y'all should pay just like everybody else. And they slammed his head onto the hood, especially Peters. He's like, now watch your tone. You keep your hands on your head. He said, we heard y'all be running these bachelor parties for these strippers. He said, somebody must have lied to you. He said, ain't nobody lied to us. So watch your tone and keep your hands on your head. He said, if you see your boy Dollar Bill, tell me he got some warrants. You know we never did like his punk ass. And they was like, we never liked your punk ass. So watch your tone and keep your hands on your head. And then he looked at Freeman and he was like, did anybody ever tell you look just like the father from Good Times? And then he stick like the little chili dog down his shirt and mushed it like that. That shit was funny, bro. I thought it was a croissant for a minute. But anyway, Ronnie's dancing on stage until it's time for her to go. And then as soon as Trix got on the stage, everybody leaves. Damn. And then that same night, Mr. Dollar Bill is arrested by the cops for warrants. And then Ebony was trying to get a table dance from both Reggie and Clyde, but they declined the table dance. And then was like, well, what y'all pay for? And then they looked at her, and they taken her out of the club, hoping that they'll get some action. And then you got this nigga Reggie talking about, so you gonna run train on this nigga like choo choo, and Reggie like calm down. And then little man talking about some your little cousin a hoe. Which way? That way. And I'm telling Dollar Bill too. This ain't no damn hoe house. And then Ronnie comes to stop, but Ebony don't want to leave with her, but until she changed her mind. And then Reggie, before they left, Reggie was like, "We'll get that ass next time." And then during a heated argument, Ebony opens up about how she knew about what went down between Diamond and Ronnie. And Diamond left us a little good advice. Make the money. Don't let it make you. And she ended up having a flashback of the time she was at a private party with both Ronnie and Trix. And some guys were at the party and they offered $600 for anyone to go down on Diamond. But and Ronnie then essayed her while she was passed out on the couch. And then Ebony ends up going to this little party with Ronnie where there was nothing but police there. And then she took her back home. Then that next morning, when Ebony is coming home, she could hear Lance and Diamond arguing. They arguing so loud, it caused every baby in the neighborhood to be crying. And then, what I was about to say next? Oh yeah, another part I will never forget is that after Diamond is getting her cap and gown, like her cap fitting and shit, it changes to nighttime where Lil Man is being tormented by St. Louis again. But this time his head is inside the car, but they going into a circle around the parking lot. And St. Louis have a gun, a shotgun at that. He said, "You want me to blow your goddamn head off, little man?" He said, "No, he ain't in there. He got arrested by Freeman and Peters." He said, "Man, speed this motherfucker up. Let's go around one more time." They went at full speed. And that shit was funny as hell. Said, "I put this on everything I love. He's not in there." Said, "Motherfucker, stop." He said, "Stop the car." He said, "I want you to listen to me real good, little man. You tell Black ass he better not make me get out this goddamn car. Do you understand what I'm saying to you?" He said, "Brooklyn, do something to make me feel better." He said, "I thought you never asked." And he took KC's cigarette and burnt St. Louis, not St. Louis nose, Lil Man nose. That shit was funny as hell. And then after that, Dollar Bill was bailed out by Trix. And then that night, Luke the rapper ended up showing up at the club. And then Lil Man comes in there to inform Dollar Bill about this. And he alerts the strippers via a money alert sound. And Ronnie is trying to invite a girl named Vanilla to Junior's bachelor party, which she quickly declined like hell. It tells her to get someone else to do that shit. And then, while Diamond is dancing with a client, her professor that works at her college, which actually is her professor, sees her, and she runs off embarrassed to the dressing room. And then all of a sudden, while she's sitting down, Ronnie follows her and she tries to push up on Diamond again, but it fails miserably. As Diamond is fighting her off, trying to fight her off. And then back upstairs, Reggie and Clyde are talking about Luke. Clyde's talking about, "I don't think you understand. That's Mr. Doodle Brown Man himself." He's like, "I don't care nothing about no Luke." I make my money like that fool make his. He's like, well, that nigga got more money and more hoes than your ass. I'm finna go talk to him. And then he tries to talk to him, but the bodyguard informs him that Luke is not there to meet anybody, no autographs. He's just there to have a good time. And then Clyde's drunk ass start talking to the bodyguard chest. He's like, well, look here, nigga. I know y'all don't want no motherfucking trouble. I should kick your little ass, nigga. Punk ass Miami niggas. Man, fuck y'all niggas. And then, as soon as you know it, as he's walking away, the bodyguard and boom, popped him right in the back of the head, which knocked him out. Everybody in the VIP laughing until Reggie grabs a chair and smashes over the bodyguard's head and starts fighting with Reggie and his crew until he ends up getting jumped and thrown out of the window of the VIP. Dazed after this, he pulls out his pistol and starts firing wildly into the club, which causes everybody to flee, and he gets knocked out by the club bouncer. And then, after a crazy night, when Diamond returns home, her customer, Myron, shows up at her place. He's like, can I come in? She's like, hell no, don't you ever come back here. I'm going to call the police on you. And he was like, why? I always make sure you get home. And it's like, oh, so you a stalker. She hurried up and got in her apartment. And then she ended up seeing Ebony and Lance in the bed together. And she's ready to kill Ebony. And she runs off into the bathroom. She shoots at Lance. And she also goes off on Ebony. And then after this, she kicks Ebony out. She's starting to grow sick and tired of the Players Club and Ebony. All together. And then, Ebony is offered a gig at Junior's bachelor party. And Diamond is on a date with Blue. And then, when she shows up to the bachelor party, Ebony, Reggie and Clyde try to finish what they tried to do last time, but she quickly turned them both down. And then, when she realized that she was going to be the only girl in the entire hotel room with a bunch of dudes that's really trying to run the train on her, she tried to call her cousin Diamond multiple times, but Diamond hangs up the phone despite her being mad at finding her and Lance in the same bed together. After feeling turned down, Reggie tells Clyde to take Ronnie downstairs so they could get high in the car. And then Reggie tells Junior that him and Clyde ran the train on Ebony, knowing that was a lie. And then he goes in there while she's changing, and he's like, nah, the real party in here. And she's like, hold on, this ain't that type of party. I just came here to dance for y'all, that's all. And then he forced himself onto her. After she tried to tell him no, she tried to fight him off, but he ends up beating her, and he ends up doing, I would want to say it, but I'm going to just say she got violated in the worst way possible. But after this, everybody leaves the bachelor party not wanting any further involvement with Junior. And then when Ronnie sees Ebony's unconscious body laid out on the bed, she goes off on Junior for what he did. And then they end up leaving the hotel. And then at that same time, Diamond had a change of heart, decided to come check out on Ebony, but she was way too late. As soon as she saw Ebony's unconscious body on the bed, so was Blue. This had to be the last straw for Diamond. So she grabbed her gun and went to the Players Club where Ronnie and Trix was laying low at. She confronted Ronnie about this, and she tried to act like nothing happened. And then she scared the strippers by shooting the gun into the air, and as she wanted her 1v1 with Ronnie. Even Trix had to get the hell up out of there. And then this lead to both Ronnie and Diamond getting into a brutal fight. Dollar Bill tried to intervene, but Blue followed Diamond's instructions, which was not let nobody in. And he pulled a gun out on him. The same gun that she shot. And after this, Diamond beats the fuck out of Ronnie. Left her bloodied up in that dressing room. She grabbed her purse and she's getting ready to get out. But she punches Trix in the face. And Dollar Bill gonna try to fire her. And she's like, fuck you, Dollar. I hope you don't make another penny in this raggedy motherfucker. I quit. And Blue, he's like, what? I don't think we need your services either. He's like, yeah, if I have to come back, Dollar, it's gonna be trouble, trouble. Shot town. And looked like Diamond good look came right in. Junior got arrested moments before Ronnie or Trix could be arrested. And then they go check on her injuries and whatnot. And they was like, girl, you got your ass whipped. And then little man still trying to crack jokes. Talking about something. Did you at least pinch the bitch? It's like, not the time to be cracking jokes, bro. And then they end up being arrested for the violation of Ebony from that bachelor party. And whenever they left, St. Louis was there the entire time, waiting on Dollar Bill, and he was there. And then St. Louis comes in there. I thought he could walk, but he's a wheelchair gangster, and he like, is there anybody here that don't want to get murdered? Get the fuck out. And everybody took off running, only a select few. And he shot the club up, and Dollar Bill tried to escape, but he got caught by Reggie and Clyde, and he reunites with the guy that woke him up out of his sleep early in the movie, and he ends up getting dumped in the trunk. And then Brooklyn blows up the Players Club, and then we're back to where we first started off at. Sporting bruises from that little night from the bachelor party. Ebony is working at the same shoe store Diamond was working at the very beginning of the movie. And then we ended with Diamond telling Ebony, make the money, and Ebony responds with, don't let the money make you. Diamond narrates that Ebony ended up moving back to Tallahassee, Florida to be with her mother. Her and Blue are improving with their relationship, and they're moving further. And he got a job at a radio station. And then you got Junior, who's doing time for violating Ebony, and he never did get married. Ronnie and Trix got jobs working at a strip club called Club Sugar Daddies. And let's see, Brooklyn and KC still work for St. Louis, while St. Louis is still running the South. Reggie and Clyde were last seen out of Freaknik in Atlanta. Officer Peterson Freeman are still harassing people to this very day. And we got Lil Man, who is back in Chicago, and he works at a different strip club. And as for Dollar Bill, he was never heard from again. And Diamond became a successful news reporter. That's the end of the movie. I would like to advise y'all to go watch this movie. Get it on DVD, video, or VHS, or get it off of Amazon Prime. Do what you can to get to that movie. And I would like to say thank y'all for tuning in to today's video. Make sure y'all click that like button down below, give it a thumbs up. Make sure y'all leave a comment down below of what's your favorite line from the movie The Players Club. And it also had an all-star cast, though. I would like for y'all to click the subscribe button, but make sure y'all click that bell so y'all can be notified and don't miss any of my videos. Don't forget to add me on my social media at YoungPhillip_00. That's my Instagram, my Snapchat at Ride361005, and my TikTok at YoungPhillip00. With that being said, I'm out.